Carol Ann knows the plan. 6 minutes after 9 o'clock, Master Gardener Carol Ann in the studio, and she's ready to answer your questions or just engage in conversation with you about those things in your yard, your lawn, your garden, your mulch, and all those things. And I think my lesson for this week is that the lazy man works the hardest, because when you don't cut your grass, then you got to cut it the next week, and that's actually harder than if you just did it when it was still relatively short. So
yeah,
lazy man works the hardest is my lesson.
There you go.
Good morning, Carol Ann. How you doing?
Real good, Larry. How about yourself?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't growing for a long time this year, and now all of a sudden it's growing very quickly.
Because it's raining and it's hot. And it's all going to grow. And if you don't keep that mowed, not only do you
need a bush
it's
hog.
harder to mow, but you really should almost raise your blades up higher. If you can, cut it and then come back and cut it a second time.
Oh, really?
Because you're not really supposed to.
Again, the lazy man works the hardest.
That's it. Yeah, if you do, and it's with carpenters, it's measure twice, cut once.
Right.
With gardeners, it's do it right the first time. You either can't glue it back on, or you can't, or you got to go through, and it's harder work.
And you have a phone call.
Great.
Good. Everybody, by the way, if you don't know the number, it is 622-9622. The area code is 352. So 352-622-9622. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning.
Quick question for you,
Sure.
Carol Ann. I've got a neighbor that planted some bamboo.
Ooh.
And I don't like using herbicides or anything. I've used just plain old salt in
Right.
areas to get rid of it.
Uh-huh.
Not the bamboo, but to get rid of foliage.
Other plants.
Bamboo laughs at salt. Have you got anything that'll get shed of bamboo? And I'll hang up and get the answer. Thank you, Carol Ann.
Okay. Bamboo's tough. That's it sounds, well, it wouldn't even matter. Sometimes if the neighbor plants the bamboo, even if it's a clumping bamboo, too close to the fence line or whatever, it will escape and
Really?
come onto somebody else's side. Running bamboo, if you ever put that in, you will curse yourself forever
Sounds like an
doing
Indian
that.
name.
Yeah, running bamboo. Running bamboo. It's going to be a tough one. The best thing, if it's coming out from under a fence, your best thing might be to go down along that fence line and just try to dig it out and cut it. And then put some type of barrier buried in the ground, a piece of steel valley metal down in the ground, something like that to prevent it from coming across, and then work on just removing it, physically just removing it, because as you see, it is salt tolerant. So it's, it's one of those things of what are you going to do? I'm not sure if the brush killers would work, and your brush killer, where I'm going with that, is not the glyphosate type thing, but go actually with the trichlopor, the actual brush killer items, because glyphosate is a salt. If you were to ever let that evaporate, eventually it's going to come down to a crystal, to a salt type thing. And I think even when they describe the chemical, it says salt of. And that I might try that, because in different strengths with that, you come up with a actual different trade name kind of thing. But you're looking at the trichlopor, Tricloypor, something like that. I can't spell it off the top of my head. But that's a brush killer, and that's what it does. I mean, you could treat small trees and things like that with that and actually kill them off. Not that it's recommended for all uses, but it would be something I'd probably look into trying. Otherwise, you're just going to sit there and keep trying to dig it out. And it's because it is one of the hardest things to eradicate, because it's not susceptible to most of the herbicides out there.
They say it's really good for building things, too.
Yeah, you can build furniture with it, depending on the varieties. You can make fencing or decorative bamboo.
And I guess it doesn't have to look like it's from the islands or something, because I've seen bamboo that looks, you can't even tell it's bamboo. Right.
Well, they make cutting boards and things like that with it, and it's a hardy plant, hardy material to use for crafting and things. But if you're not wanting it in your yard, it's also very hardy and very hale. And as they say with any, because it's now a weed, what's the difference? A weed is going to grow even stronger than what you planted on purpose.
So the two places I know bamboo from, one is the Cascades, and one is Kanapaha. Is that what it's called?
Kanapaha Gardens has a big bamboo.
It's all over the place there.
Yeah. They have many, many varieties, and they actually do a sale once a year where they divide or thin out some of their.
But obviously the Cascades would be the one I know the best.
Right.
And that never seemed to spread. Why was that?
No, that didn't go anywhere. Well, one, the grounds were kept maintained, and it may have been a clumping bamboo, and so it stayed within its boundaries pretty well. But like I said, if you plant a clumping bamboo beside a fence, eventually a piece may come out, and because you, the owner on the one side of the fence, aren't paying attention to the other side of that fence,
right.
And so it begins to get away.
Huh.
And there could be, where it was planted in the bamboo, you also had concrete sidewalk area that prevented it from coming the one direction, and mulched area and grass, which was kept mowed out from the other way. So that may even be another thing, is to just constantly cutting it. If he can put a barrier down between the neighbor's bamboo and where he's having a problem with it, and then just proceed to keep cutting it off, don't let it grow.
Yeah, I guess that would be the way.
Is eventually you starve out that root system. But you just have to literally keep cutting it in order to kill it.
Just roll over it with the lawnmower? Is that good?
Well, mowing it off, right, is you just keep it from coming, or take your loppers out and cut it off if it's in a flower bed or something like that, or landscape bed. But having the edging down, or some type of, and you may have to go down 2 feet underground or better in order to make a barrier between your neighbor's area and yours, and then just begin to try to get that out.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's.
What would you make the barrier out of?
Either metal, use valley metal or something like that. A sheet metal of some kind is dig a trench and.
Don't you use? I have an idea. Those blades that the magician uses to cut the women in half.
Oh yeah.
Just get one of them
and just slide it down in there.
Slide it down. I don't know where you buy them, but that's.
I have no idea. But no, you'd have to probably still trench, because it would be an issue. But that would be my way of trying. I hope it helps on that.
Phone line is open if you want to call in. We got a good 45 minutes left in the show, and we'll take a break in about a minute. So, but the phone lines are open. If you want to call, you're welcome to do that. The number is 622-9622, and a few events happening.
There's quite a few different events. I've got my stack of them actually. First one I'll go ahead and mention is the one that Robin did hand to me. Is in the Master Gardener series within the libraries. This will be at the Dunellen Public Library on July the 21st from 2 to 3 p.m. It's Master Gardener series, and this one's on invasives, and that means invasive plants as well. I'm sure that they may touch on some insects, but usually we're thinking of invasive plants that have been introduced into the area, and just like bamboo, they become invasive at times. And how to, basically how to take care of them, how to identify them and get rid of them.
I think I saw bamboo at the hospitals, too. I can't remember which one.
There could be. There's so many different varieties of bamboo, and it's a wonderful plant. It really is. It can make a great screening and things like that, but care has to be taken to keep it under control.
All right, we'll take a little break, and we will be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today with a thunderstorm around during the afternoon hours, high 90 to 94. Tonight, partly cloudy. There can be a thunderstorm in spots near the coast early on, those 73 to 77. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm, high 89 to 93. Thursday, sunshine mixing with clouds with a couple of thunderstorms around, mainly during the afternoon hours, the high 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, Danny Warfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
So you need a credit card, but how do you choose? Let's compare the big banks to Florida Credit Union. They have rewards, and we do too. They have customer service. Hello, 24/7. They have celebrities. Hey, Danny. But with Florida Credit Union, there's no annual fee, no liability for fraudulent charges, and no 22% interest rates. Choose Florida Credit Union, and you'll not only have a great credit card, but you'll have the support and personal touch that the big banks, well, can't touch. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Right here in the middle of the summer, it's time to talk some football. Follow me to Hoover, Alabama for SEC Media Days, made possible by the Briggs Law Firm, by HDG Hotels, and our thanks to Ocala Copy Center. It's football time, Hoover, Alabama, SEC Media Days.
Hi, I'm Fran Darkington. When I need news, I pass the rest and tune to the source, WOCA.
All right, 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, let's return to Carol Ann Baldwin and In the Garden with Carol Ann. Remember, the phone lines are open, and they're open for you. So if you want to call in, don't hesitate. You don't have to have a question. You could just call and say, hey, Carol Ann, I like my flowers.
There you go.
The phone number is 622-9622.
And while everybody's got their paper and pencil handy, I'll go ahead and give you all these different things that are coming up. Again, that one, if you missed it, July 21st, the Master Gardener Series Invasives. This will be at the Dunellen Public Library from 2 to 3 p.m. on the 21st. And then flip the page on your calendar to September. And September 5th is the Vegetable Garden Expo. That's a Saturday, and it's from 9 to 1. I actually have my postcard with me today to where I can see it. And if you're interested in that, if you've never grown a vegetable garden, or you have with limited success, or just want to learn a little more, and there'll also be vendors, so there's a way to pick up some items there for your garden. The Vegetable Garden Expo is fabulous. But before that, if you want to do a soil test, now this is a pH test that just tells you how high, how alkaline, or how acidic your soil is. August 13th will be the next one for us, for the Master Gardener office, and that's actually the closest one to the expo. So if you're going to do a fall garden, you might want to get your soil tested. It's a dry soil sample from about 6 or 8 inches down in the ground. Pick, out of your vegetable garden, pick a little bit out of the bottom of each of 5 or 6 different holes, mix it up real good, and they need about, I want to say it's about 1/4 cup dry. So put it out on a paper plate, let it sit on the counter for a few days, make sure it's dry. Put it in a little paper bag and take it into them, and it's a $2 testing fee, and once they test, they will email you back the results and let you know what you have to do any amendments, because if your soil is too alkaline or too acidic, the plants can't take up certain nutrients. And so how to adjust that to where they can actually... It's $2. It used to be free, but with the cost of everything goes up, and the equipment and things like that needing to be either replaced or recalibrated every couple of years. It's one of those kind of things. But it's a real fun thing. It's a short thing. It's a morning, 9 to 1 on Saturday, the 5th of September. And just to hit the other ones real quick, because these ones are a little bit later, September 21st through the 25th is Florida Gardening 101. This used to be called the Gardening for Dummies.
Okay.
But it's not really for dummies. It's a Gardening 101. It is 5 days in a week. There is a registration fee on this. It's a $30 per person, $50 for a couple. So you save a few bucks if you and your spouse go to do a show. It's non-refundable. It covers the materials and light snacks. You need to register by September 11th. For more questions on that, and we'll hit on that some more later as we get closer, 671-8400. And then Florida Friendly Landscaping Challenge. This is another one. This is, they don't have the whole thing mapped out yet on the different challenges, but it's Saturday, October 17th from 9 to 5 and costs $15, and that includes snacks and a lunch. That one, again, you need to pre-register by October the 3rd by calling Terry again over at Extension Office at 671-8400. That's the Florida Friendly Landscaping Challenge. And I'll make sure I mention them each week between now and then. We always plan far enough ahead so that we can do things, or schedule things.
Right.
But we come back into that wonderful gardening season of the early fall and into the winter. And so with some of these, it's, the Florida Gardening 101 gives you, it's a kind of a newcomer's guide to gardening in Marion County or Central Florida, as well as, or just maybe you're retired and finally can do it, or you've given up on the pest control company, so you want to do it yourself, or how to do it. And some of this helps. I mean, and they're not going to tell you how to fight all the, everything I had, to go about it, but you learn a lot on these things.
Do we have a large number of gardening and yard care experts in our? It seems like we have a lot of master gardeners or people who. There's a lot of resources here.
Oh, there's a bunch.
Are we unusual in that way? Does Lake County have as many as we do? Or?
Marion County is unusual that we have actually done a lot more programs than other counties, but Lake County has a pretty good size. But Lake County's office is down in Tavares, so it's a good distance away. Sumter County has one as well, but a lot of their programs, of course, are further down, so we don't hear about them.
Okay.
But like our spring festival is one of the bigger ones. We end up being the host to some of the other training programs for master gardeners.
Oh, really?
And so
if you move to another area, maybe at least Lake County's too close, but if you move, let's say, to Dade, what's it called now? Dade, Miami-Dade.
Okay, yeah.
Would you need to relearn everything all over again?
You would actually, if you're a master gardener in Marion County or Central Florida here, yes, if you went down that far, they may not make you take the whole class again, but yes, you would have to do it because you're in a tropical.
Because you're learning something new.
Because you're in a whole nother zone.
Well, you need to learn something new.
And the tropical plants that grow there don't grow here, so you'd have to, you would be taking part of that class again. But Marion County has, I want to say, about 100 on master gardeners on the membership list, and that's about what we keep annually. We lose a few, we gain, we have a new class, we gain some new ones, and by the end of the year or two, we might be back down to 100 or 110 or something like that. But so a good portion of them are continually active.
Have the phone calls decreased because of the advent of the internet, or are people using their phones to look things up online as opposed to calling you guys?
They still call in. They still call in, they still come by, because sometimes you don't know how to ask that question, or you're not real sure where to look.
That's a good point. Or they just see a leaf that has a funny dot on it or something.
Right. I have it, but I don't know how to ask the question because if you look at the University of Florida, the solutions for your life, you have to know, I have lawn issues. Do you know what kind of grass you have? No.
Right, you don't know anything.
Yeah, if I don't know what kind of grass I have, I'm not real sure where to start. Last week we got to beginning to talk about grapes just a little bit because, like you said, Joe was thinking about doing grapes as an arbor over, and I think we had another question on some like the table grapes and things like that, and where to find information on that is. I have a whole publication. I mean, the one publication I brought up, I've got it set up in my phone right now, is a 4-page publication. So some people either don't have, they're not going to sit there and read through it, or maybe they need explanation even after they look it up on some things, because sometimes it is in collegeese. not always. It's not legalese, colleges or EDUEs, but if you're looking, for those kind of things, it's calling in. And with the Master Gardener program, with the extension office and things like that, if you go in or you call them up and say, hey, listen, I'm new to the area, or not even necessarily new, what kind of programs do you have on? If you have email, they will put you on their email list and they don't sell their email lists, but they do put you where you will get notification about the Vegetable Garden Expo. You will get notification of the Florida Friendly Landscape Challenge. So you will know in advance when these items are coming up and happening in the community, the different library series. You will be privy to that information before it hits the newspaper. So you don't have to hunt for it. They'll put it in your inbox so that you can go and learn more.
Do you know what we need to do again? We need to get the video of you. I was looking at because I discovered some of your old videos online.
Oh, right.
They all say 5 years ago, so we must have done these 5 years ago.
Right.
And in one, you are demonstrating the planting of a tomato seedling.
Right.
Another one, you are preparing a windowsill greenhouse.
Right.
And then another one, you've got a ton because of all these.
There's a few of them, right.
But we did a couple of special things.
Special ones, right, where they actually brought the camera out.
Right, and this was preparing an artichoke.
Oh, we were talking about artichokes, yeah.
And you're preparing it.
Was I?
Yeah, you're actually cutting it open.
Oh, okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Wow. So, yeah, we had some fun with that. That was before we had the live stream. Yeah, those were done and then posted. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I remember Robin did the one because we had to redo it because we lost it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Had to come back.
I think that was the
it.
tomato one.
Might have been.
And you dressed kind of warm, so that must have been.
Yeah, it was a springtime. Yeah, early spring or like March. Yeah, or January when you would be starting your tomatoes for the spring garden.
Yeah, Carolyn Baldwin planting a tomato. Oh yeah, you're out in the garden at the Cascades.
Right. But yeah, again.
Boy, you look so young.
Well, 5 years ago. But thinking about vegetable gardens and the expo too, and starting seeds in that, if you're going to start anything for your late summer, fall garden, you might be thinking about getting those into your little peat pots and things like that now, or your recycled yogurt containers, anything that you can, put some soil in. Save your eggshells. Those are always kind of hard to do because you got to take the top of the egg off a little more careful so that you got enough soil to start something in. So with anything you can do, I like the seed starting mixes. They're real fine. They're pretty much a vermiculite with a finely ground, possibly perlite in them, but they're very light, very fluffy. If you were to put them on a paper plate and blow on them, yes, you will blow it all over the room. So, I like to put it in a bowl or just in the bag, and I pour the water in there and get it moist to start with, and get your seeds going for your late summer. To the early fall, your tomatoes, squash, cucumbers, all those kind of things. If you want peppers, I would go ahead and buy some pepper plants. You can put them in now. Eggplant, same thing. They're going to go all the way till it's cold. If you can find those already growing, those are going to be a little easier to do.
We are at the halfway point. We need to take a little break. If you want to call the show, you are invited to do that. The number is 622-9622. That's 352-622-WOCA. Carolyn Baldwin is here to answer your garden and your lawn care questions and your trees and everything associated with the outside nature. Sometimes outside bugs, sometimes animals, mostly plants. All right, we'll be right back.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Lillian Wu. President Obama urging congressional approval for the nuclear deal reached between Iran and 6 major powers.
Without this deal, there is no scenario where the world joins us in sanctioning Iran until it completely dismantles its nuclear program.
The deal lifts sanctions against Iran.
Congress has 60 days to approve or disapprove the agreement, and they would need a 2/3 majority to override a veto. The president says without this deal, there's a greater chance of war in the Middle East, and he also believes with it, future presidents would be in a better to deal with Iran.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. A second company now being probed for airbag inflator malfunctions. U.S. safety regulators are looking at ARC Automotive and the inflators that went into about 420,000 vehicles. This comes just weeks after Takata agreed to recall nearly 34 million inflators in the U.S. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Andro 400, I really love it. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy. It feels like I'm 25. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man.
Guys, if you'd like to see results like Dave Ryan's, try Andro 400, the safe, inexpensive way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 866-546-1955. 866-546-1955.
Napa know-how! How to tell if you need a free Napa racing hat. Look in the mirror. If there's not one on your head, you need one. Spend $25 and you'll get a free Napa racing hat. We'll even donate $1 to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund for every hat given away. Besides, you've got the perfect place to keep that free hat. Your head. Conquer the job with Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer expires 7/31/15.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Coloring helps our brain downshift to more soothing alpha waves. That's because filling in the lines requires just enough concentration to keep your brain focused without risking any burnout. Lower testosterone means a man is less likely to stray and look for other mates after he becomes a father. Are your lips always dry or chapped? That is usually the first sign of dehydration.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Prestige Food Trucks, the world's leading food truck manufacturer, specializing for the startup vendor all the way up to restaurant chains, is a proud sponsor of Food Truck Talks, the weekly show heard every Wednesday at 9 a.m. on The Source, WOCA News Talk, that brings you the inside scoop, ladle, spatula, spoon, fork, and plate from inside of the custom food trucks you see in and around town. Find what makes each food truck unique in its own way, from the food they serve to how it's prepared in their custom manufactured truck. Food Truck Talks, Wednesdays at 9 a.m., sponsored by Prestige Food Trucks.
Hey Ocala, this is Kelly Hart, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine. Did you know last year Ocala Magazine won more awards in excellence than any other publication in Florida? And this year, Ocala Magazine was named Best Consumer Magazine in the state. Now you can join me every Friday at 10 a.m. on Ocala Magazine Radio, where we bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life, right here on The Source. Ocala Magazine thanks you for making us #1. And remember, there is only one Ocala Magazine.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need
too.
my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new truck.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Caroline Baldwin is here. If you have a question, the number is 622-9622. And again, it does not have to be a question. You just can call in and say, how you doing? I'm doing my lawn right now.
Right. Or
drinking my tea.
Drinking, yes.
Enjoying my garden.
There you go. This is what I did in my garden. We like to hear those as well.
So maybe this went over my head, but when Joe called earlier about the bamboo problem, right? Would Roundup not work?
Possibly not.
Is that too simple of an idea?
It's one of those kind of things that it's Roundup doesn't work on like heavy brushy stuff, really. Okay. I mean, it might knock it back. There's certain plants that are just naturally resistant to it. Palm trees.
Oh, really?
You can spray a palm tree all day with Roundup and it'll yellow it, it'll set it back, but it doesn't kill it. It comes back.
Well, I wouldn't want to kill a palm tree.
No, I wouldn't either.
They're kind of big.
But I mean, sometimes people have the little ones that pop up in the yard.
Really? I've never seen a little tiny palm tree.
Yeah, you probably have. You just mowed it over.
Really?
They're one blade will shoot up and.
And does it look like a palm tree?
If you looked at it and you know what
really
young ones look, yeah, you would probably know. But same thing with the bamboo. It's just that some plants are just naturally, they're just the way that their systems are built within the plant. They're just naturally resistant to the way it works. Right. And with some people have said, taken and cutting the bamboo to where you're leaving the little funnel. The little cup. In there and putting the products in there. Down the tube. But even then it's just. I don't know if it'll take it up, actually. It's moreover, you may need, be treating the green part of it, kind of thing. The salt down inside the tubes may work, just that it becomes that strong, that much of an issue, and that might even be another thought. Right. But I did want to get with the thing last week. We did mention something about grapes and that, I don't remember who had started that on grapes, whether or not it was Joe or another one of the callers. Yeah. And we were talking a little bit about bunch grapes. And if I quick bring that site up here, this page, it was, okay, give me the right. Wrong one. Why does that always happen? Every time you try to do something, you bring the wrong one up. Here it is. This is from the University of Florida. It's the Edis Ifis Ufol Edu. It's all initials. EDIS dot IFAS IFAS dot UFL.edu. Edis Ifis Ufol Edu.
Yeah.
So this is one that it's called the bunch grape. This is the publication on bunch grapes. It's publication HS17A. So actually, if you went to that website and you would type into their search bar for that, but I just went grapes in Florida. Came up with several selections just on a Google search, clicked on the one that said Edis Ifis Edu, and they have a table in here. And the reason table grapes or bunch grapes were they had a hard time with them was that there was a disease issue. There was Pierce's disease had been an issue with bunch grapes during, because we have hot, humid growing conditions, and they have about 9 varieties now that will do well in Florida. One thing, though, they do say is if you're going to plant them, make sure wherever you're planting them, you're not putting them at the bottom of a hill where you begin to lose air circulation. You're not getting the breezes blowing through. So the higher part of your property, you're going to have plenty of room anyway, just because grapes do take quite a bit of room. You're spacing those posts, you're spacing them at least 10 feet, apart, basically each direction. And the different varieties that come up, there's a few of them that do need to be, they're self-pollinating, so you don't have to have more than one variety, but there are several of them that have to be grafted. So be sure that if you're going with, the Conquistador seems to be one of the more popular varieties that, seems for fresh market, for wine, for juice and jelly, for pick your own, for dooryard. The Conquistador seems to be one that is very versatile in that way. Blue Lake looks like one of the other ones that is also that, that seems to be pretty well, popular on those kind of things, but they do need to be grafted ones. So when you're looking for them, make sure you're looking for the correct ones. And this page or pages of this, because this is a 4-page publication, it gives you the planting times for us are going to be between 1st of February to early March. On getting them, your pruning schedule is going to run your January, February time of year, and proper pruning is going to be how you're going to get good grapes. And these can be done up over a trellis to create shade for your pergola or anything like that. And then you're talking, there's a specific way of getting them up that high, and being able to train them up over the top. It also contains your fertilization schedules of what to use and when to use them. It's normally your first year on grapes is going to be May, June, and September, using a 666 or an 888. The next years you're going about what they say, March, June, and right after fruiting. So that's usually going to be about September, August to September, because your grapes are ripening anytime between June, July, August is when grapes begin to ripen. Only thing you're going to have a big issue with is your birds and other four-legged critters.
Problems.
The birds, you can put netting over top of them to keep them out. Raccoons and things like that, you may need to trap them or be out there to take care of them, to knock them out. I've even heard of folks doing an electric wire along the bottom to keep them from coming up. So, and actually a little tiny electric fence to keep them from climbing up in the first time. And because if you're growing them for any marketable reason, you don't want, rats, raccoons, rabbits, squirrels, anybody getting up in there. And the electric fence is just going to chase them off. It's not going to kill them. There are some insect issues with them, as well as some disease issues, and they tell you to get on put yourself on a spray program. I don't know if there's any ways of going with organics on the spray programs, because they're saying, well, the copper's considered an organic, or at least less for fungicide on a regular spraying. Though at extension, I haven't seen a whole lot of issue with fungus. Again, fresh air circulation, and things like that.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann.
Morning.
I have a problem with wasp.
Okay.
I use the wasp spray. I use barrier and everything else to keep them from coming back. And they keep coming back.
Yeah. Where are they coming? Up in your eaves, or?
It's by my front door. It's like a portico,
Okay.
A little porch there. Stay out of the rain or whatever.
Right.
And it's right there on that ceiling, and they just love to build their little hanging nest and set up housekeeping, and I keep washing it down and hitting them with the wasp killer. And I also use a barrier, a name brand barrier.
Okay.
Put up there. They call it a bug barrier or whatever, and they just keep coming back and trying to set up house again.
Wow. The only one I know of is one thing would be possibly, and you may be trying this and it's just not working, is once you get them killed off of there, would be to kind of like wash the area down. You want to remove that pheromone that they're leaving behind, that new ones are coming and finding this as an area. Another thing is, and this was learning from a customer, actually learning from someone else I was talking to, and I know they're not an advertiser or anything like that, but Bengal makes a wasp spray. I don't know where you find it. It's not at the two big box home improvement stores, so it might be in some of the other ones. It might be at a Tractor Supply, a Seminole Feed, I'm not sure. But Bengal wasp and hornet spray seems to prevent them from coming back.
I can't quite understand that.
Bengal, like Bengal tiger.
Oh, Bengal.
Bengal, yeah. That their wasp and hornet spray seems to even keep them from coming back. This young lady I was talking to, she said she's used it, and it seems to be that when they spray it, they get rid of that nest. They don't come back. So I'm not sure if there's some type of repellent quality to it. I really don't know, but it might be something to look into.
All right, well, the other thing is I don't want to mess up the paint and everything that's up there either.
No, well,
she's trying to use something that won't stain the paint or cause it to peel or something.
Right. Well, this is one that you would be spraying in those kind of locations, because that's where she uses it, is by, her front door. The same kind of thing is that, that's where they seem to be making their nests, would be up, up underneath there. And like you say, you don't want to ruin your paint or anything like that. But that would be that. If you're not, saying, you get rid of the nest, you can try spraying whatever your household cleaner up on there and just hose it off to see if that doesn't remove the pheromone and prevent them from coming back, or trying that product, the Bengal. I'm not sure, which way you want to try.
I've been using the name brands and the regular wasp, hornet, killer, and then, the other stuff that's made by Bayer and like that, and it just doesn't,
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's not acting.
Coming back.
Right. But that's why I'm saying this one in particular, because the lady came in, she was looking for that, and the store had different ones, and she says, "No, you know what? I'm going to go find it. I think I know where I can get it." And she goes, "It costs more." But because of that, she was willing to pay the extra, than the $3 or $4 for a can of Spectricide or Raid or whomever's wasp spray. It was more like you're talking $7 or $8 or more for the can of stuff.
Right.
So,
all righty. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Carol, we'll take a little break.
Sure.
If you want to call, you got a good 15 minutes left in the show. Carol Ann will answer your questions or talk to you about your lawns and your gardens. We'll take a break and be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today with a thunderstorm around during the afternoon hours, high 90 to 94. Tonight, partly cloudy. There can be a thunderstorm in spots near the coast early on, though 73 to 77. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm, high 89 to 93. Thursday, sunshine mixing with clouds with a couple of thunderstorms around, mainly during the afternoon hours, the high 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Your weekends are getting a little retooled.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire.
Because that's how exotic it is.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99. Plus DIY has the large selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Hospice of Marion County has an urgent need for volunteers to share a conversation with someone, run errands, hold someone's hand. All you need is a willingness to help others. Our volunteers believe the blessings they receive far exceed the services they offer. Will you consider serving, caring, and making a difference? Call today, 873-7441. Hospice of Marion County, making more moments of life possible.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
All right, 10 minutes before 10 o'clock, Carol Baldwin is here, and gosh, only 10 minutes left in the show. This is one of the fastest shows, I think.
Yeah, it is.
It's just
goes quick.
It's a good one, so.
Yeah. Well, we have fun, and we,
It's a nice topic. I like this topic.
It's a good relaxing.
You get outside in your mind.
Yeah.
You're not in the sweaty outside. You're in the
right. You're sitting back, or you could be sitting outside underneath your umbrella, out on the patio, having your iced tea.
That was a question I had about umbrellas, actually, about artificial shade.
Oh, well, yeah.
Does it make any difference to a plant if the shade is artificial or not?
Yeah. I mean, no, it doesn't. It's shade.
Make any difference.
It's shade, yeah.
Okay.
Shade is
because
eliminating.
Light makes a difference. I mean, artificial light and sunlight.
Because you can get artificial sunlight. I mean, they have light bulbs that will mimic. That's where your grow lights come in. Is that they're mimicking the UV or the ultraviolets that are beneficial to the plant. So they're mimicking those. But shade is shade. It's limiting the light coming through.
It's the absence of light.
It's the absence of.
It's easier to create.
Probably easier to create shade to cause shade than it is to imitate natural light without having to go to the expense of certain fixtures and things like that.
So the cooling that helps stimulate a bulb, that happens in the winter,
right?
And in Florida, most of the times we have some cooling, but sometimes we have none.
Right. We have chilling hours. What we call chilling hours are the amount of hours below 40 degrees. So we always have some. Here in Central Florida, when we're looking at fruit trees and things like that, we're looking at our chilling hours to be between a 250 to 350. If you go higher than that, some years you will not get fruit. If you go too much lower than the 250, they may pop their dormancy too early. We get a frost, and then you've lost all your fruit for that year. So trying to get it into that Central Florida area where you're talking a 250 to 350, I usually try to look for, like peaches and plums and things at about a 300. Hour. Now, when you're looking at tulip bulbs and things like that, for those, we just don't get enough.
Are you looking that far ahead yet? I mean, it's July, what is today, the 14th? So.
It's July the 14th, but if
are you looking ahead to the cooler months already?
I don't want it to be cold.
What I mean is, like in that video we were watching February. You were planting tomatoes.
Right. Well, I'm working towards my August, September, but I'm thinking into January.
Okay, really?
I'm thinking, because you're thinking of different varieties, or I'm thinking, say, maybe to November of what am I going to put in my broccoli and my cauliflower and things like that. You're always thinking a little further ahead. You have to, to get it going to the right thing. Because otherwise, if you miss it, I have people coming around going, is it too late for tomatoes? And I started looking at it going, no, actually, it's too early. You passed too late a month ago. It's too early for them yet. I said, give it about another 4 to 6 weeks, and you can start to get your tomatoes again. And the guy, okay, that's it. And he says, I thought I was too late. I said, no, you're too early. You're past too late. It's so. But even for those heat-resistant ones, I would be, you could start them again. But and for Florida, and I haven't tried it too much. If you're interested in trying different varieties, some of those colder varieties where they're meant to set fruit when the temperatures are cooler might be ones for us to try to grow through the winter. So it's a thought to think about, is having your summer tomatoes as well as your fall/winter tomatoes, where the plants are actually more tolerant to the cooler temperatures, and that the fruit will actually, the flowers will actually set fruit before, during our cooler season. We may be able to run our tomatoes a little better if we did. I may have to get online and order some seed. It just gave me another
So you prefer
idea.
to do it from seed?
I like to grow tomatoes from seed only because tomato plants are expensive.
Okay.
And I like to have a few of several different kinds. I don't want, all of one kind. If you buy a multi-pack, get your best price.
Every once in a while you'll see tomato plants for sale at Publix.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like an unusual thing. Like just they get them only now and then.
They get them. Same thing. You'll find them in the springtime. I don't know if they do it in the fall in front of like the Dollar General or the dollar store, the Family Dollar, Dollar General, and things like that. You'll even find them there.
Now, and what do you look for, like to decide this one over that one? What tells you that it's a healthy plant?
Well, one, it's going to just look nice. It's going to be straight. It's going to look sturdy. Yeah. Pretty much whatever your instinct on any plant is going to be. And then the variety. Usually looking at, or the days to harvest. If it's starting to get a little later in the season, I don't want I don't want a tomato that's going to take 75 or 85 days to come to harvest. I'm looking at, say, an early girl or something like that, where you're looking at the 45 to 60 days or something like that, that by the time you put it in the ground, you're going to get fruit in that short period of time. And so, but when you're out there selecting plants, and sometimes you'll look and go, ooh, look, in this multi-pack, instead of it just having 6 plants, there's about 15 in here. Realize you're really doing better if you cut off all of those and have 6 plants. Or pull them out, because to try to divide them, you may or may not end up with any success with the rest of them. You might, if you're good, you might be able to do it.
Get me in the mood for a tomato.
Yeah, ready for a tomato sandwich? Tomato sandwich on white bread with mayonnaise?
Robin and I did this video the other day, and we included the Hungry Bear place in the video.
Right.
Ever since doing that, I keep thinking I got to get over there and get a hamburger.
You need a burger.
It's been a while because they're not open on weekends, so it's hard for me to get over there.
To squeeze in, right. Yeah, and they're probably not open when you get up. Well,
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure of their hours, but I thought it was
seems like a long time
lunch,
since I drove through that place. Yeah.
Been a while.
We're just about done. We got 2 minutes left, and I just drew a blank, Caroline, with
trying to come up with a question.
Trying to come up with a question, yeah. So how about I do this? There's a $20 gift certificate here for Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery. I want somebody to go to Bob Wine's.
Right.
So if you can just call and just say, could I have that? Could you put my name on that? Then I think I'll say yes.
You just might, but
you have to call. You have to call. You gotta ask. It's like everything else in life.
Ask and you shall receive.
If you don't ask,
you don't get.
Usually you won't get it.
Right.
Once in a while you get things you didn't ask for.
That you didn't ask
for. Like a puppy or something.
Right. That's how I got my hunter.
Is that right?
My dog was my Mother's Day gift. I had no idea I was getting a puppy.
It's just this recent?
No, that was a year ago.
Oh, okay.
So he's a big boy now.
Let's go to the phone and see if somebody wants this gift certificate. Good morning. Do you want this?
Yes, I do.
All right. What's your name?
Sally.
Sally. And you know where we are?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, you've got it. It'll be waiting for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Sally. See, that was easy.
Hi.
That was
$20.
Simple.
It was like handing somebody a $20 bill.
That's it. $20 bill, spendable at Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery.
Here comes your music.
Yeah.
Go online. Look at all the videos that Caroline has made over all these years.
You got to go to the YouTube at the WOCA channel, or
go to WOCA The Source on YouTube, and you'll see, and then you'll put Caroline Baldwin. You'll see all of them.
There you go.
Or if you want to see this one, it'll be on about 2:00 today on the Facebook page.
On the afternoon, yep.
and also on the WOCA page.
Sure.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thanks, Larry. Have a good day.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Lillian Wu. The president wants Congress to support the nuclear deal just announced between Iran and 6 major powers, but the pushback already underway.
What the president has done, he's taken the world's most destabilizing power, one of our chief antagonists, a country that's killed hundreds of Americans in Iraq, and he's guaranteed that they're going to become a nuclear nation.
That's Senator Lindsey Graham.
Secretary of State John